thank you so much, Wardah, for coming to our podcast. It would be really, I'd love you to introduce yourself. And thank you so, so much again.
You're very, very welcome, Ms. Karleen. And thank you so much for inviting me. And hello to your viewers. It's so nice to see you on this amazing platform and doing amazing things about Montessori. And I'm extremely excited for all your future projects. As you mentioned, my name is Wardah. I am originally from Pakistan, but I lived in Saudi Arabia. I was actually born in Saudi Arabia, and I lived the first good 16 years of my life in Saudi Arabia, and then I moved to Pakistan. I did my master's in human development and family studies. I moved back to Saudi Arabia because my father was still working there, and we decided the year I went back that they would like to move back to Pakistan, which at that point I was not quite ready to go to. And my dad asked me to, think of some more higher education. And since I had done my master's already, I wasn't quite sure which direction I want to go to. And then because I had done human development and family studies and I had studied about child development, I thought that maybe at some point in my life, I would like to have my own school, open up my own school. So I still remember writing on Google how to open your own school.
So what inspired you to study Montessori in the UK?
So since I had done my master's in human development and family studies, I thought, what can I do with this degree? And I just remember saying I would like to open up my school one day. And I remember that on Google, I typed how to open up your school. And funnily enough, there was like a testimonial on the Montessori website, on a Montessori website, saying that after doing this course, I was able to open my school and things like that. So I was like, okay. I clicked on the website and it was Maria Montessori Training Organization in London, MMTO, they call it. And then I just, did my application process and I did whatever was required for that course and I got enrolled and I moved to London. So if you know how your question was, what inspired you? To be honest, there was no inspiration. It was just me trying to spread my wings a little bit, try to live on my own, away from my family, in a different culture, challenging myself maybe. And on that path, I would say, I believe I kind of find the purpose, if you want to say it, because after doing the course, it's just been Montessori. After I did my course over there, I worked one more year in a school in London. It was a really nice experience. And then after that, I moved to Saudi Arabia, where there was, I believe, the only Montessori school at that time in Jeddah. They had just opened up. And I think I was probably the very first, in the very first year I went in. So there weren't many teachers there yet. And I helped them in setting up those classrooms, the materials. And then, our fellow friends, Ms. Kareen, we had some other friends who also joined us. And I believe that, those were one of the best years of my life.
Yes, I think me too. So thank you so much. It's really wonderful. And I love the way, you move from Pakistan and then suddenly you find some maybe a sense of mission, or you
Yeah.
want to devote yourself
Yeah.
in that field. So that's
Yeah.
really wonderful. So moving from Pakistan to the UK and later to Saudi Arabia, what challenges did you face in adapting to different cultures, and how did these experiences shape your perspective on education? I mean, you said that you were born in Saudi Arabia, so maybe there was not so many gaps for you.
Yes. I mean, for me, I think the cultural shock definitely was when I lived in London, when I did the course. I think that was more of the challenge than going back to Saudi Arabia. Because as you said, to me, Saudi Arabia was my home. I was very comfortable with the culture. The people that we work with, to be honest, they were very kind. They were very open. They, they helped us a lot. They looked after us in a nice way. The school, as I said, was just building up. So there were challenges from that aspect, that not a lot of people knew Montessori. The administration also, was trying to learn through us. Then the parents, for example, who were coming to us, they had to be told exactly what Montessori is. And again, I think, let's say, the culture of the people that we were serving wasn't truly from the Montessori background, for example. So, like, for example, we talk about independence, and the kids might not be very independent at home. So those kind of challenges, yes. But in terms of the cultural shock, I think it was more for me to be in London. And as I said, it was my very first time living without my family, without my friends, without my circle, without my, my comfort, basically. But again, having said that, the institute that I joined, and funnily, we got to know that we were both in that institute almost around the same time, but we never met there. That again in itself is, quite an interesting
Except
story.
during the graduation.
Exactly. But as I said, it's only in the pictures where you go like, oh yeah, you were there, but I don't remember till now, having you in my mind. The institute was and is, I think, still an amazing institute. The way they taught us about Montessori, the way they supported us, even, finding placements, and the schools that they sent us for observations and for teaching practices, the mentors that we had over there. I still think that those experiences really, really helped me till now, after almost, what, more than 20 years, almost 20 years. Yeah, almost 20 years after 2 years. So I did my course in 2007, and now we are in 2025. And I still think that because of having such great training, I'm able to continue with my Montessori journey.
And even in Turkey, is it the same in terms of approaching parents? Are they
Yeah.
more aware when you have your parents coming in, or
I
you have
mean,
to
I
explain?
don't know how, again, how people will see this or not, but I kind of sometimes have these conversations in my head, and sometimes with my colleagues as well. When you talk about Montessori, when it really started with, with the not very rich families, poor families, and children who didn't had a lot of opportunities. So I think for them, that system worked really well. But some things, down the road, Montessori became more of a expensive school. So when you have an expensive school, then you're catering to expensive people, to rich people. And when you're catering to rich people, then I feel that sometimes, not all of them, not at all of them, but there are few people who I feel that do not understand really when you say, help me do it myself, and, make the children independent, and, let them cut for themselves, let them feed, make breakfast for themselves. When you give them these kind of examples, it's just sometimes clashes with the culture of the parents of the school, not necessarily the culture of the country, but it's just the customers that you're serving. So in Turkey, so after Saudi Arabia, I moved to Turkey. And I'm right now, currently where I'm working as an education coordinator. So I'm not working as a teacher anymore. So I'm not very much in contact with the parents. My role, mostly, go along with the teachers and with the students, and observations and administration, and a little bit with parents. So, recently I did my workshop with the parents about, just how we work in the classroom. So we try to give those informations, in as many possible ways as we can, during parent meeting, during our open houses, during our workshops. But if your question is, does it really, are the parents more open to Montessori? Again, it's all mixed. Yes, there will be some parents, and no, there are some parents who don't have much clue about what Montessori is, and how it's not just an education system but almost a lifestyle. So yeah, I think in every part of the world you'll have these kind of conversations and challenges in each school, I believe.
Yes, well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. This is
You're
really
most
interesting, isn't
welcome.
it?
Yeah.
When you go to because sometimes people use Montessori as more as a branding and not
Yes.
necessarily believing in the core of
Yes.
the principles. And so that's and when it's seen as a more like, oh, look, my child is going to Montessori,
Mhm.
there's something missing, because it's
Yeah.
so, in many ways it's education for life,
Yeah.
it's for peace, and
Yeah.
it's I love it.
Yes.
It's
Same.
amazing.
Same. Same. Same.